Welcome to BattleBots at Home, where robots rip each other to pieces for your entertainment. Tonight's fight card has an amazing lineup of bots ready to put on a good show. Destructive spinners such as Jerry and Rotate are hoping to use their weapons to spread their opponent's parts all across the box. Technical control bots such as Gridlock and Grappler are hoping to show what they can do. And in our main event, it's the return of the current giant disc holder, the reigning champion, BattleBots. They'll be taking on Slick, a destructive hammer bot, up to the challenge. Do they have what it takes to take down the champ? We'll have to wait and see. But for our first fight of the night, it's the Brazilian drum spinner of Minotaur. With a deadly weapon known for ripping opponents to pieces. They'll be going up against the 4-bar lifter of PumpUp, who didn't do so good last year, but are hoping to do better this time. And for this fight, they actually have a special attachment designed specifically to take down Minotaur. Let's see if the plan works. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Will that special attachment of PumpUp come into play? Looks like it is as they push Minotaur into the pulverizer. They get hit with the hammer, and Minotaur's already lost his top panel. That's going to be huge damage points for PumpUp. This is looking good so far. But now PumpUp's getting hammered. They're getting put into the corner. Now Minotaur, they're really laying into them right now. This is not good. Pieces are starting to come off of PumpUp. I don't know if they're important or not. Either way, that's not looking good. They might be even on damage now. I think a piece just falls off PumpUp. And they put Minotaur onto their back. And oh no, I don't think Minotaur can get up from there. They're kind of moving, but it's not controlled movement. If they don't get down within a few seconds, they might just get counted out.
10,
and I think the countout has started.
8,
and
7,
this is horrible.
6,
this is heartbreaking for Team Minotaur. And they came back.
4,
This is not
3,
good.
2,
This fight could be over just like that. It's like a coin landed on the side and the fight is over. You know when you flip a coin and it somehow lands on the side? That's pretty much what happened here. You see in the replay, the two bots met head to head, and the attachment on PumpUp worked perfectly. It deflects the drum spinner of Minotaur upwards. It didn't do that much damage at first. Eventually they got to the side and ripped some pieces off. But in the end, PumpUp just needed one good lift. They got Minotaur on their back. They tried to get up. It wasn't working. It's a sad way to lose, but in the end, Minotaur goes 0-1 and PumpUp gets an upset victory. For our next battle, we have the beautiful control bot of Gridlock, a very low-to-the-ground lifter meant to push spots all around the box and get them out of the arena. They'll be going up against Superhot, a fast-paced axe bot that also has the ability to light itself on fire for some reason. Regardless, let's get into the fight. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. The two bots meet head to head. So far, Superhot gets one good hit in with Gridlock. The Gridlock comes in and slams them into the wall as retaliation. And Superhot's stuck on the wall. They're not stuck on the wall anymore. They're out of the arena. And just like that, Gridlock has won this fight in less than 10 seconds. This was just a perfect fight from Gridlock. Aside from that one slam at the beginning, they were in control the whole match. Although the whole match wasn't really that long. They only needed one good lift. They got Superhot to stabilize. They got him stuck on the wall. And then eventually they did what they were best at doing. They just simply got him out of the arena. A very nice and clean win for the amazing Gridlock. So far, we've already had two amazing fights tonight. Before we get into our third one, let's take a look at one of the bots that will be in our main event. It's the return of our reigning champion, the one and only BattleBots. Well, that's one reason to look forward to tonight's main event. For our next fight, we have possibly the cutest bot in the competition in EXO, a small little lifter bot. They'll be facing off against the widest bot in the competition in the form of Zero. They have tiny projectiles as weapons, but their main feature is just how wide they are and their flexible material between two mini pods. Let's see who can win the next fight. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin, and these are two very strange robots. Zero, clearly with the size advantage, or I guess the width advantage, pushing EXO right into the pulverizer. That can't be good for their cranium. I think they just shot off one of their main projectiles. It's not the main weapon, but it's still something. They just shot the other projectile, and right now, going right in the middle, that's what EXO is doing to Zero. Zero they're all over the place. They're very flexible. I don't know that flexibility is helping them in this case. EXO just seeing what they can do with that lifter into the other pulverizer. A lot of pulverizers used in this fight. I like that. EXO, his cute little face showing no mercy. I think they are right in the middle. Like they've gotten stuck to, and they use them like a whip. This is an insane fight. I can't keep up. EXO getting from behind of, I'm not even sure. And oh, it doesn't matter. There goes the lifter of EXO. But it would seem that Zero is stuck in the screws. They can't move. Well, half of it is stuck. But it doesn't matter because if they can't move within a few seconds, they're going to be counted out. This fight is over. That's it. EXO wins this match. In case you can already tell by my all over the place commentary, this may just be the strangest fight I have ever witnessed. Zero using its whip to its advantage. They pushed EXO around for a little bit. But eventually, EXO just went down the middle. They got in the middle of them. They were, like, it was just so weird. They were like spaghetti. And EXO just got right in the middle of them. They were able to get one side on the screws. And that was all they needed to win the fight. Our next fight is sure to be a good one. We have the complex grappler of Grappler going up against the dual disc spinner of Rotator. This will be a wild match between two widely different designs. Let's see who will come out on top. Three, two, one. Let the bots battle begin. Two bots coming in, Grappler getting behind Rotator, or I guess the front. The robot is the same no matter which direction it's in, but it doesn't matter because right now it's in the direction of the pulverizer, and just getting hammered right now. Grappler controlling the map so far, pushing him into the other corner, and oh no, this is bad. Rotator just lost one of its discs. Now it only has one weapon, which is not good, obviously. That's already major damage points for Grappler. I have no idea how this just fell off like that. But right now, Rotator is scared. They're on the back foot trying to run away. But Grappler already on the counterattack. This just isn't going well. Grappler getting a good grab. They have 4 grabbing arms, 2 on the top and 2 smaller ones on the side. And they're using them all to great effect. Rotator getting hammered once again. And they just have not been able to do any damage to Grappler whatsoever. And into the other pulverizer. This is not good for Rotator. They've lost one of their discs, and they gotta come back behind right now. They need to do as much damage with their remaining disc as possible, but Grappler just isn't letting them do that. They just keep slamming into the pulverizer, and this just is not helpful. Rotator trying to do something, but they just keep losing the ground game. They weren't meant to win the ground game. They're horizontal spinner. They were meant to have a big spinning blade on the bottom, but as we've already talked about, it is gone. And right now, Grappler is on top, and they've always been on top for the majority of this match. Just like that, Rotator rips off its own top panel. I don't even know how that happened, but at this rate, Grappler should get all 5 points in damage, because Rotator is honestly just destroying itself. I didn't think I'd be saying that with a spinner going against a control bot, but a control bot is the one who's winning on damage. It's incredible. And just like that, business as usual, slammed into the pulverizer once again. I've lost count of how many times. Oh, never mind. Time for the screws. They've already done the pulverizer. Let's have some variety. Time for the screws. Into the sidewall once again, and just Grappler just keeps shoving Rotator every which way. Rotator has not had a single moment of offense this entire match. And Rotator they just aren't doing anything right now. I'm honestly running out of things to say. It's just Grappler just slaying Rotator into every conceivable corner box. Oh, onto the screws. Oh, that's not good. This is something. Rotator a little bit stuck right now. Could they get stuck? Now they get free, but just back into the jaws of Grappler. And Grappler just an absolute beast in this fight. Rotator needs to do something now. They need to knock him out now, but that top disc isn't doing anything. And as we already talked about, their bottom disc is long gone. Rotator looking pretty battered right now. I don't know what's gone wrong, but there's only 30 seconds left, and honestly, there's pretty much no way for Rotator to win by judge decision. They need to get a knockout right now. Like, the only way Rotator can win this is if Grappler just spontaneously dies, and I highly doubt that's going to happen. The Rotator is going to give up. They just keep trying to do what they can. We would have got a tiny hit there, I guess. But we only got like 10 seconds in this match. And it's just been Grappler from beginning to end. And I think I only see this going one way. Just like that, the fight is over. This may just be the single most one-sided fight I have ever witnessed. Grappler just showing Rotator who's boss. They lost their weapon immediately. Well, one of their weapons. They had the other one, but it was basically useless against the control bot of Grappler, who, as the name implies, just grappled Rotator every chance they got. They shoved him into every pulverizer. Right there, Rotator even rips off his own top panel. Not even sure how that happened. And just Rotator never had a single interesting moment during this entire fight. It got shoved around everywhere. I think this fight can only go one way. We all know who's going to win. Good job to Grappler. We have a unanimous decision. The winner is Grappler. What a dominant performance by Grappler. We'll be looking forward to seeing more of them in the future. Now getting back to our main event, it's time to take a look at the other bot that will be a part of it, the hammer bot of Slick. Only a few more fights until we see how Bite Force does against the deadly Hammerbot of Slick. Speaking of Hammerbots, our next fight features Chompy, a big bot with a big hammer, going up against the Lifter of Tough, a robot that, as the name implies, is meant to survive pretty much anything and just be a total tank. Let's see who will win the next fight. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Chomp swinging that absurdly sized hammer. They immediately get off balance and they're on their side. They self-right, trying to get some hits in on the Tough. Tough pushing him around with that Lifter. Chompy self-rights again. Not really sure what's going on here. Tough just, being tough. Oh, right into the side. The hammer got stuck on the side of the wall for a second. That could have gone bad really quickly. Chomp self-right. And they bring out a hammer again, but they land on their side again, and they're getting tumbled over. Seems to be a weakness with Chompy. If they fire that hammer, they get off balance. It's just so heavy, and Tough is taking advantage of it into the pulverizer. Chomp really needs to get out of there. Ooh, I'll just lift it up into the air like that. Good job from Tough. And right now, Chomp is still on its side. They need to get up right now. Chompy on its face now. Tough is taking advantage. Definitely winning on control. Chomp really needs to get some more hammer swings in with that giant hammer there. Ooh, on the side, nearly out of the arena there. Can they get out of here? And they do. Chompy, they get a good hit, but they land on their side once again. This is pretty bad. Tough just taking those shots pretty easily, living up to their name. Chompy still trying to reorient itself. It's not easy. They bring down the hammer once again, trying to get some hits in. Tough using that lifter to the best degree possible. Oh, and that's it. Chompy is out of the arena. The winner of the fight is Tough. Tough was just so well controlled during this match. Yeah, Chompy got the bigger hits in, but every time they did, they would lose bounds to get on their side, which allowed Tough to take advantage. Tough just really tough out there. They survived the hits. They were just a better controlled bot. Chompy not really sure what to do. In the end, Tough used that lifter. They got him out of the arena, and they won the fight. Simple as that. For our next match, we feature a returning bot from last year in the form of Jerry. Last time we saw them, they were getting spliced in half by Tombstone, but they'll be hoping to do better against their newest opponent. That opponent is the extravagant bot of Very Violent, a robot with many appendages that can move in almost any conceivable direction. Let's see which one of these two bots will get their first win of the season. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. We have a large vertical spinner going up against whatever Very Violent is. The two bots collide. Jerry, that's a fun name by the way. Oh, Jerry immediately rips off the grabbing arm of Very Violent. That was very violent, no pun intended. Very Violent getting spinned around. Not really sure what's going on. They're kind of just all over the place. This is a very weird bot. Unfortunately, I don't actually think there's a lot left for Jerry to hit. They've already ripped off the grabber, but Very Violent is just so much shorter than they are. Jerry. Oh, Jerry on the side of the wall. Oh my god, this could be it. They could be thrown out of the arena right now. Very Violent wants them out. Could this be it? Very Violent just pushing into them, trying to get them up and over that wall, but they get back in the arena. That was a close one. Jerry ought to be careful after that little exchange. They could have been done then and there. Very Violent, they may not have their grab, but they still have the lifting arms that they can use to lift their opponent and also themselves. And Jerry just coming in onto the side. Here comes Very Violent, using the lifting arm to push their body into Jerry. Oh my god! Jerry is just falling apart. It's literally falling into pieces. The countdown's beginning immediately, mostly because what is Jerry going to do? And that's it. That's the fight. Very Violent gets the upset. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I honestly didn't think Very Violent stood a chance in this fight. And at first it looked like how we thought it was going to go. Jerry ripping pieces off. They took off the grabbing arm. But Very Violent didn't need it. They used those lifting arms to push themselves up. They almost got Jerry out of the arena. But then eventually they pushed into Jerry a second time. And the entire bot just fell apart. And Very Violent, just like that, gets a Very Violent victory against a very destructive opponent. Look forward to seeing more of them in the future. And here we are at our main event. We have the plucky Hammerbot of Slick going up against the reigning champion of Bite Force. As already mentioned before, Bite Force went completely undefeated last season in order to win the Giant Disc. All of their fights were won by KO, and they proved to be the best BattleBot in the competition. But now, this version is a lot different than the previous version. The old version was obviously a grappler. This one's more of a vertical spinner. But the team still believes that their building skills are what helped them win last time, and no matter what they build, they'll be able to win another Giant Disc. Now, that's not to say this new version of Bite Force is necessarily a downgrade. What it loses in its control, it makes up for with its deadly weapon. However, Slick's weapon might just be just as deadly as Bite Force's weapon. Their hammer is strong enough to absolutely destroy other bots, and if Bite Force isn't careful, it may only take one good shot to end their night. Now, it's easy to say that Slick has their work cut out for them since they're going up against the reigning champion, but despite how big of an uphill battle this may seem, I really do believe that Slick, if they pick their shots right, they may have a chance to take down the champ. With all that out of the way, it's Slick versus Bite Force, our final fight of the night. Let's see who comes out on top. Three, two, one. Let the bot main event begin. The two bots meet to head-to-head. Slick fires the hammer, and oh no, I think the hammer has fallen off. It has, and they're weaponless. We're only 10 seconds into this fight. This is the worst case scenario, or maybe this is the worst case scenario, as Bite Force pushes them into the pulverizer, getting hammered, quite literally and figuratively. Bite Force taking pieces off, and Slick just has not had a chance to recover. They turn around, but without a weapon, they might be done for. Oh, there goes the wedge, and there just keeps getting hit with that hammer. Bite Force showing absolutely no mercy. Slick needs to get out of that corner right now, although I think it might already be too late. Is there any motion from Slick? I don't think there is. The counter has started, and just like that, the reigning champion has torn apart their fierce challenger. This fight is over. Don't mess with Bite Force. Well, let me just go ahead and apologize to everyone who thought this fight was anticlimactic. Slick got a one hammer in, but then their weapon just fell apart. And after that, it wasn't even a fight anymore. Bite Force just tore that poor bot apart. They never let Slick out of that corner. They just kept hitting them over and over again until they weren't moving anymore. Bite Force showing why they're the reigning champion, why they are to be feared, and why they are likely to win the giant disc once again. And just like that, another spectacular night of robot fighting has come to a close. Just to recap, PumpUp was able to get the upset over Minotaur by getting them on their back. Gridlock put out the fire of Superhot. EXO played jump rope with the lengthy bot of Zero. Grappler bullied Rotator around for 3 minutes. Chompy was no match for the tough armor of Tough. Very violently pulled off a magical win against Jerry. And in our main event, Bite Force returned to get a brutal knockout over Slick. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.